and her husband's a property developer. So they, once you've got planning, it's like next door here. That was originally going to be all these lovely eco houses. They got the planning permission and pulled it straight away, and it's gone through time and time again. And you'll get developers like that will do it on all sites. The charity homes site up on the Posty Road, that's going for the same issue. You know, it will change over many years. They get more and more houses, they get more and more money out of it.
So what you're saying, on any property that we have no issue with, we should always go no comment?
Unless you can actually, let's say someone tips up to build a doctor's surgery next door, and said, look, you know what, I'm a millionaire and I'm going to buy the land and put a doctor's surgery, then you can go, right, actually, we will recommend that, but we'll recommend that because it has this benefit, this benefit, this benefit, this benefit, and actually link them to the MPPF. You're then a winner to get the recommendation through. The same as if like someone's going to build other eco houses and they're going to be all nice, spacing, and they're going to give a shed of land over to whatever. The same kind of thing, you can actually quote the reasons and then you can support that. But you've got to be careful of what you've got to support as a legal entity that we are. We have to be careful what you attach your hat to as such. So.
Points noted. Legal points as well. Legal points. So we're looking more in line with, as well as the outer aspect and where it's situated, is more the in-depth, the background of the people.
Yeah, you have to. You can only comment on the application in front of you, but at the same time,
using that as context.
Yeah, you use.
Yeah. And the internal design as context as well, so we can sort of formulate a bigger picture.
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're coming from.
So what you're saying is, I mean, I've seen this online earlier. What you're saying, I don't have an issue with this.
No.
This at all. I think it's okay. But you would say without no comment.
Yeah, you're not against it. You're not putting your hat either side of it. You say no comment. Sometimes these don't even come to the parish because some of these people put plan applications in where they don't need to be put as such because they don't understand the development, or they think I'll put plan division in just because it gives my neighbours and people a chance to comment on it as well. So that's the other thing. But yeah, but my recommendation with any of them that are like this, that are just say blasé, but they're not going to impact. Just get a no comment route, unless the person really comes here. You know, we have had a few at main council which, to tell you the truth, don't really meet the management plan framework, but they have circumstances outside that, like disabled people that need the downstairs shower and the rest of it, and you take that into account. So you can then actually use that. But for this, I would say no comment.
I will say that when I get a conservatory or something with the delegated powers from the council, I never recommend approval. It is always no comment. Tree preservation orders, no comment, because it's not. It's yeah. That is the.
Didn't we last time when we said no comment? Then if we don't make a comment, and it does get passed, then and it does go through, we never make no comment. But if it does get passed, that's what I'm saying.
No. I think you might be slightly. I think.
Because we said no comment, and we said, well, if you don't go to no comment, then it goes to the council anyway.
No.
Decision.
No. If we recommend, say, approval,
yes,
and it goes to planning committee, and they refuse it, we will be called in to basically say, well, why did you want to approve this?
Yeah.
Or am I slightly wrong there?
So wrong. So if it goes to officers and officers go, that's not something that the parish has recommended it, it will then go to planning committee at a cost of £4,000
Yeah.
to the taxpayer, which then we have to sit down and comment on, and then when the parishes don't turn up, so they're going, all right, so then it becomes a starred item, so it goes through anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I felt. That's what I meant.
But it's the officer's time and all the rest they put into it. And then if you put comment the other way, if you put refusal as well, again, they should, you should only refuse on the, you can't refuse as such, but you should refuse on certain points. Again, you have to go for the MPPF, or reference to the merge and neighbourhood plan, and actually quote those things out there to say this is not in line with it, to give the officer context as well, so that he can go, oh actually I didn't actually, sometimes the officer, they're human, they forget, oh I forgot Tovil's doing that, or this is quite a sensitive area because we've already cut down a load of the trees already because of the other TPOs. So it's that kind of stuff you just sometimes have to think about.
Yeah.
So can we take your lead on that, Paul? Would you like to?
No, I don't take any part in the voting.
No, I know that, but we've listened to your reason,
If he was allowed.
reason arguments.
Can
And
I
I've-
just propose no comment?
There you go.
And
I'll second it.
I for one, lessconfused.com, now I've heard what you had to say. It does sound a lot of good sense, yeah.
I propose no comment.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favour of no comment?
Perfect. Unanimous.
We got there in the end.
Oh, dear.
Any other applications received?
Nothing else. Yeah.
By attendance, no.
Really?
No. Correspondence, a letter
Sorry,
received.
Paul,
Sorry?
just on that, there are some TPOs
There are. Yes, I've got them in my office.
that have come up. The only reason I mention them is because they're now that regarded instead of the Andai.
I was going to talk to you about that actually.
I mention it for individuals, for interesting, because a lot of them have been taken out, and even though I don't really like the Andis, they're quite they've been here for a fair few years now. They actually impact on the character of Tovil. So I would say that the past replanting of trees has never happened.
Okay. So maybe attach that as a comment.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So how many was there for TPOs coming?
2.
Two. I mean, would you be dealing with them now?
Yep. It's okay. I'll
Was they online?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I was actually going to speak to Paul about them anyway because he's kind of a tree man. So.
He is. What do they call the tree man?
The green man.
No, he's
Arbor
not.
Rummage. He's like the Arbor the tree.
That's
That's him.
We've got tree full this year.
Oh,
Tree follow this is the key
oh, that's it. Yeah.
Correspondence, letter received from Maidstone Lions Press and Publicity Officer to inquire into the advertising and submitting an article for our newsletter.
Do you want it to go as an agenda item?
Yes, please.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's something dealt with.
Can I just flip back into that matter's not arising?
Hmm.
Because there is one thing, the Survey Monkey.
Yes,
What was the result of that?
I haven't analysed it yet
Thank you. But can you let
because all the newsletters haven't gone out yet.
Can you just do that privately? Just send me an email, just of what the uptake was. How many people did it later on? Yeah.
Mr.
Week or
Chairman,
2 weeks?
Mr. Chairman, all the newsletters haven't gone out yet, so
Oh.
I haven't done it yet for that reason until all the newsletters have gone out.
Correspondence, the letter received from Maidstone Lion Press to
So
inquire about the
want that on
advertising,
the agenda, yeah?
submitting an article.
So can I ask about Facebook as well?
Yes.
Don't mean that as agenda item as well, but Facebook.
Yeah.
And now the letter. Now the letter's
Wait,
got.
sorry, one letter.
Correspondence. When I had a meeting with Madam Grant, I'm trying to choose my words carefully here. It seemed she was still of a mind to support the rejection of the incinerator at Allington on behalf of them. We passed emails several times before I got the meeting, and I mentioned about the passion that we all showed about our tip, our recycling centre, and that really Maidstone needed another one. It needed something else, either away from here or but not all of using at the same time. So when she couldn't arrive, she did apologise. She had another meeting to go to, and it was coming up close to the election at the time, so it was the last couple of months ago. So she asked me to read this out, and I've read it myself. You make of it what you will. Dear Paul, thank you for making the time to meet up with me last week. It was a pleasure to catch up with you, and you certainly sound like you're having a busy time with a variety of political interests and causes. As you know, the main reason for our meeting was to discuss the application for a household waste recycling plant in Allington. I'm sorry I was not able to address Tovil Parish Council about this issue at your last meeting, when I was a parliamentary candidate. I'm grateful that you have been able to speak to me directly, to advocate for local residents and to explain their concerns. Let me be clear, I hate that phrase, let me be clear that I completely understand the Tovil residents' concern about the impact of the Tovil waste site upon the local area. There is a clear need for increased waste management capacity in Maidstone to ease the pressure on Tovil. So I think we sort of got through to her right at the time. However, I do not believe this need will be appropriately met by expanding the site at Allington. Residents in that area have already contacted me about traffic congestion, smells and noise pollution relating to the existing site. I do not want this new proposed site to recreate the problems in Allington that Tovil already experiences. To be clear, I'm not opposed to a new household waste recycling facility in principle. I just do not think the site in Allington is the right one, having listened to the concerns of their local residents. But I will be writing to Maidstone Borough Council about this shortly. In the meantime, I'll be grateful if you could share this letter with the Parish Council and interested Tovil residents. If you have any further questions about my stance on this issue, please do get in touch with me again to discuss it further. So I think to cut the long story short, she appreciates what we're going through. She knows that another site is needed in Maidstone. Can't just be one site for the expanse. An extra 28,000 plus houses is going to produce a lot of rubbish, and Tovil can't take it all. So there is a need for an expanse. I pointed out to her the Allington site next to the incinerator site at the moment was a nature reserve, not as well kept as you keep the Howell Park Nature Reserve. And nothing grows in there, no flora, no fauna, it's contaminated sort of land, the one next to it. And this is what they want to expand it to. Right on the junction with the M20, so we have a nice infrastructure there, and all it was an extension of that in land which can't be used for the nature reserve anyway. And she did point, she wasn't aware of that. She is aware, a lot of the residents have sort of tried to get her backing to object to that extra, saying Tovil can take it all. But she understands now, after our meeting, that Tovil can't take it all. She's of a mind to look for somewhere else. Whether there is anywhere else, it's anybody's guess. But we can't have any more. We can't have any more at all. Not with the proposed housing that we have planned for further up the hill. All the Abbey, whatever you call it, and the Berksfield and all the different areas around. We can't accept any more. So that's the long and the short of it. It was a good meeting. She was sort of aware of the concerns of Tovil, and she's looking at trying to not support anybody now. Yeah.
She could come up with an
Well,
idea.
I would like to see MP and Grant
Trying to
come in.
pin a politician down of any colour, by the way, is hard for them to get them to come down on one side or the other is very hard. But I do appreciate that. First one was Vice Chairman.
Yes, I think that Helen Grant should come down and see the people of Tovil so that they can speak their mind, because Tovil don't want it. It don't matter if Tovil cannot take another one. So Tovil is definitely got to be out. If she can assure the people of Tovil that there will not be another incinerator, then I think Tovil will be happy. Then find somewhere else to put it. But at this time, Tovil is still number one, got the tip, and we can't put the trust of MP and Grant or the government to make their own decisions. So I'd like to see Ellen Grant come down here, meet the people of Tovil, express how you feel, but it wouldn't be able to take it. Tovil is a small village. Allington is wasteland, right on the motorway. There's no chance of any pollution. So they stick up there, that's going to be a lot of pollution, and it's going to be very bad for the generation coming up and the people of Tovil itself. So I'd like to see MP Ellen Grant have a meeting with Tovil Parish Council and the people, and providing that she can say Tovil will not get an incinerator, I think they won't get it.
In quick response to that before I come to the other councillors, it's actually not Helen Grant's decision.
No, I know, but she can.
She can't really do anything. They can put their names to something, and this is, I think, what we was annoyed about at the meeting. That she'd put her name as a part of, I want to support their.
Yes, but she's supporting Allerton, but not Tovil.
Yeah,
She can't support
she's come away from that now, and not supporting.
only in a letter. We want to make sure she has come away
Yeah,
and
and
find a new one.
it is a different authority which is in charge of that. I think we know which authority that is. It's a different authority which is in charge of actually the decisions of that, and it's just that the case of we was annoyed that our MP, one of our MPs, came down on the side of a different area rather than being totally neutral. But I take it from that. I will be writing back to her,
Yeah, please
and I will
do.
relay your concerns.
Yes, thank you.
And invite her to come down,
Please
not in this public forum,
No.
but we can set up a nice forum where she can speak to people.
Yeah, if I think the people of Tovil would
Councillor
like that.
Bobby?
It's not a new incinerator that's going to be built. One of the reasons for choosing Allerton site is they can increase the capacities of the existing
Yeah.
incinerator. So there's a carbon footprint thing from not building another huge
Well,
site
it's anything new.
as well. However, her name is still on a petition that's still going around at Allerton. She's not taken her name off that.
No.
And if we're a bit honest about this, Paul, this is a voting thing, trying to further get votes
Yeah.
from the Allerton area and trying to stir up trouble in the Allerton area. I don't buy that letter by her understanding our things. And over the last 5 years with Helen Grant, I've only known Helen Grant turn up as a camera. So if we tell her there's a camera, she may turn up.
Yeah.
I think we need to quite strongly say, well, we're sorry you can't support us in this. However, Tovil Parish Council feels that you pin your hat, your name is still on a petition,
Yes.
going out around Allerton, and you have made your views clear. We've been waiting for this site for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
If you, as an MP, and it is the KCC run council that will decide where it goes, can actually come up with another place within the same time frame, we're more than happy if it goes somewhere else.
I will certainly, yeah.
Tovil Parish Council is at capacity, over capacity, the tip is over capacity already,
Yeah.
and we cannot take any more.
On that, I will write back to her and put both your points of view, which is, I think, is all of our points of view. Yeah. Councillor, Mr. Hicks?
I'd like to add to what Gary said. I'd like to see Helen Grant come down on a sunny Sunday morning, where the cars are down Burial Ground Lane, cars are going on the opposite side of the road.
Your views, your views and your views will be included in my next letter. Before I send it, I will send a copy to all three of you, so you can actually see what I'm sending. There was no political bias on my part whatsoever.
When is the actual plan that they're going to decide? What time?
That's KCC's remit.
Yeah, that is down the KCC, and to be honest, I don't want to overly get involved in that because again, you let a little bit of information out, Gary, and she'll be on it trying to stop it.
Yeah.
However, I would say the letter actually needs to come from the parish,
Yes.
which is and should probably go through for yourself with the clerk, Lisa.
Yeah.
As correspondence, this is the parish presentation
Yes.
from your letter. So
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll draft the letter, give it to you, and then if you can send it to everybody, copy everybody in before it goes off, to make sure that everyone's okay and happy with the contents.
We know you're very good at putting words.
No, I'm not. Okay, that's fair enough.
Fine. Brilliant.
That went back to the correspondence. We've done that. Neighbourhood plan update, please, clerk.
The questionnaire is currently sat with the professionals being overlooked, and we are getting a meeting in place for the end of February because Claire's been on holiday. And we're also setting up a meeting with Chris Hawkins at DHA Plumbing to discuss some bits and pieces to do with the local plan.
Excellent.
That's it, really.
Thank you very much. Number 13, cost-cutting measures.
Sorry.
Thank
You just wrote that.
Cost cutting measures. The cost, I think we sort of touched on this very briefly in the last one. The cost cutting
Sorry,
measures.
Mr. Chairman, it's confidential document, you can't read that.
Oh, I thought you said it wasn't confidential.
No, the green papers.
But that's
You,
what
yeah, no, you can't read out something that's on green paper because it's confidential. You can talk about it, but you can't read it word for word.
Okay.
All right.
I thought we talked about, we struck it out, it wasn't on green paper.
No.
Confused.com, when you went, I made a mistake on that one, I thought, well, that's not on the, okay. I think we talked about last time the amount it costs in printing and sending packs to every councillor. And we looked at the idea of maybe if the councillors could have it by email. I know some of us haven't got email, some of us haven't got printer. As a way of cost cutting, it costs not only the amount in paper, but the amount of workload for the RFO and the clerk is considerable, which has a wage implication to us and stops some of the more important work, silver training for instance, and other things carrying on if we're using up the time doing packs for everybody month after month. A lot of people now, a lot of companies go paperless, all banks go paperless. I haven't had a paper statement now for many, many years. It's the way to save the planet. It's a very good green thing to do with reducing the carbon footprint. You don't have to keep printing out reams and reams of paper and using up the electricity to do so, and obviously the clerks on the RFO's time. We was going to discuss that, but we are looking into feedback from all yourselves about how we can move it forward and to all agree, our consensus between us, that we can go paperless in terms of our packs, our emails, the messages we get, rather than being put down all the time. We have there's a Dropbox facility, so you could quite easily, if Dropbox is quite easy to put on anybody's phone or computer, and the documents just go straight to your Dropbox, and you can access it from anywhere in the world. You could be in the beach and suddenly come up with your Dropbox, you've got your stuff there.
I don't have a phone, I don't have a computer.
So you have
an iPad, don't you?
you have an iPad?
I thought you did, sorry. Well,
Yeah.
look, from my point of
It's a
view,
poor little thing like me, you know.
Just
That's
Abigail,
the
Abigail's got an email, hasn't
does
she?
Abigail have one?
Abigail's got an email address, so
Is a,
Abigail's got an email address, I haven't.
maybe she can print.
she could just print one
Abigail's
out,
up, maybe.
or show you, or just Dropbox it and take it.
I'm really not trying to be funny. It takes me 4.5 hours to put together 4 packs. At my hourly rate, that's about 45 quid that the parish council is paying every month. That's without Alison's time as well, because 9 times out of 10 the RFO will stay and help me so that it condenses the time down a bit. And it is like the chairman said, there's other things that the chairman, and rightfully so, the council would like us to do, and that's great, but that's 4.5 hours that we could spend doing those things.
The training, the side of things, so it's not just the cost, it's the time not doing stuff that we could do with the neighbourhood plan. More time spent on the neighbourhood plan, more time spent on silver training, planning training, and all the other trainings that that are possible, especially for the RFO, to have more training on different aspects, which should be done. So it's looking about going back paperless. It's the way the world's going. It's the way all companies are going, trying to be paperless. It's the way now, who carries money on them? Oh, sorry. Paul.
Mr. Williams first. Mr. Williams.
Yeah, who carries money? I mean, most of the time now, I just do contactless payments because it's safer, it's quicker, it's easier, and you don't paper money. It's a nice green way of doing things. Mr. Wilby.
I feel like I'm a bit groundhog day because we obviously went through this when me and Lloyd went through this a few years ago. But however, technology has changed since then, and technology's got a lot cheaper. We've started using tablets at work now for our safety paperwork and all the rest of it, which again is about trying to save money, but also about saving the planet and all the rest of it. Those tablets are about £90. The Bona tablets, so they're £90. For us, over the 4-year period, it'd be just short of £1,100. You really just said it cost about 50 quid.
Yeah, £45 for my time alone without the IFOs.
So much would that cost then?
So you can really see we're getting close to a kind of a zero thing. I'm not suggesting we issue them out for people to have forever, but as we could actually probably get a cheaper lot for, say, 11 of them through our supplier, issue them to people, and then when they leave, they have to sign for it. It also means that we can control, they've changed their name now, haven't they? What they're called now?
AQIT.
AQIT could actually set them up so that we can actually get confidential, because that's the other thing with the email stuff, which is the only problem you would have, Paul, is not, unless you've got control of that computer, you're not allowed any confidential information. So you could actually get, what they're called, actually set us up the tablets, so they're proper logins. You know, you've saved it. It's not just this council that get used to them, it'll be the next council afterwards. Because at least to get 8 years out of them, I've got an iPad 2, which we've had for years, which the boy just uses. So I think there's a cost saving there, and that's no offence. That's the only way to be fair to everybody about the process. It's okay saying you can print off at home. There's printing costs. So what's saying, well, you can share an email address and the rest of it. That unfortunately I think is a little bit it's discriminative. It's only because they live in a household together that they can do that. And we shouldn't be looking at doing that. So I know within the borough council and the county council, if you haven't got access to a computer, they supply one. So I think we should look, if we want to go paperless, about getting a figure for those tablets and going down that route.
Well, I even looked on my Kindle, and you can download Dropbox for the Kindle, and the Kindles are only £45.
There you go.
I want to look at, I would need to know all the aspects of that, including the insurance of the items and who pays for the insurance, and then it would open up potentially abuse of the system, where iPads or Kindles or whatever could go missing, a claim on the insurance, which means our insurance goes up, we supply them again. There is the possibilities there.
Unfortunately, Chairman, if you want to go paperless, you have to bite the bullet one way or the other. And I know you're saying about insurance as such, but you know,
Covered under ours.
one if the tablet's £55 and someone loses it, you know, we could do it so, you know, basically if you do lose it, you've got to pay the like £10 deposit to go towards the next one as such. But again, you'd have control over them, because if they set them up correctly, they wouldn't be able to be abused. They don't be able to be used for council, for actual council. Actually for the council. So I understand what you're saying about seeing all the debt, and we as a council need to see that cost proven before. But I know from the borough council looked at this, and tell you the truth, they should have gone down it. But you've got people that's a certain age that still prefer paper, but the people that have gone to the paper side, it has, as I said, once you get used to it and you start using Adobe properly and bookmarking stuff, you can use it a lot quicker than you can even use like the paper stuff, because you've made your notes before you get there and you can just click your way through. So I think there is a benefit of it. I don't think the abuse, if we limit the server, what the people can access, which is quite simply done nowadays.
You can restrict them, can't you?
You can restrict them. That's why I said that we should probably go through our IT supplier. But I think we should get a cost from them to see what it is, and then we can comparatively cost it with time and paper and print.
Does that mean we need a server as well?
No, when I say so, you can restrict their browser, can't you? So our own Dropbox is backed up onto their server anyway, as such, isn't it?
You see, at the moment I get all my stuff paperless on this.
Yeah.
Everyone's got one. Well, most people have got one of these, and I read them, and I could have all this in front of me now, and it hasn't cost the council a penny.
No, but again.
And for the people who haven't got it.
Yeah, but if you've been sent that green piece of paper.
Yes.
That shouldn't be on your phone.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Okay, and this is the other thing then is that you could have information on your phone which is underneath the GDRP.
So if we haven't sent security, these sort of tablet things, can they do it to secure sites? So obviously it's
Yes, so you have the council ones, I can't even get, even though this has got extra security on it from the borough council, they can turn this phone off now if they wanted to right now this minute. Still can't get confidential stuff sent to this phone. Yes, it has to be a Maidstone Borough Council computer for you to receive that stuff.
So we just receive these as per normal in paper format, which we do all the time. We don't get these sent to our houses or emailed. We get these on the day.
We sometimes get some compliments.
Do you know,
Comments,
actually, you
emails.
raise a good point. I wonder if I can look into passwording them on the PDF format, just like they do the electoral register.
Yeah, scramble them
Yeah,
up.
I'll scramble them.
But as I said, we're talking £1,100, well, probably £1,000. We worked out that in a year we got our money back.
Yeah. And so we wouldn't have this paper here, we would have our
No,
Kindles here.
and I would also suggest that when we use the screen behind us, we've got, you
Yeah.
know,
I did,
The trouble is
we have
that
talked about this.
if I connect my laptop up, I can't use it to take the minutes.
Yeah.
Because there's something on it, I don't know why. Look, at the end of the day, I don't have a parish council laptop. This is my own cheap laptop.
Yeah.
Once I've got my parish council one, we can do it, but I couldn't work out how to do it on mine, I'm sorry.
Screen mirroring. You
Yeah.
just mirror another screen, and that screen does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so simple. So you work in one screen, whatever's on the other screen is on there. It's simple to do, and I can set that up. I did talk with the clerk about that, didn't I? About the having this up there.
Yeah.
So we don't, and we have something else, but we don't have all this paper.
Mm.
How many trees do I have to come down for this? I mean, they fall down. They fall down.
we'll also know that the Borough Council have asked us and other parishes to go paperless with the planning as well.
They have, yes.
Yeah.
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 You can imagine how much it costs to print some of those things out.
Horrendous. And time-wise, like Lisa said, the time-wise
Yeah.
is horrendous. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, who was first? Who was first? Councillor Hogg was first. Susan
Oh.
Hogg.
Yeah, I don't mind having anything, you know, if somebody gives me a computer or Kindle or whatever, if somebody shows me how to work it, because I haven't got a clue. I apologise for not having a clue, but
Don't apologise. There's a lot of people. My mum, she still uses a home phone.
yeah,
Who uses a home phone now?
I do.
You're
There
joking.
you go. See, look, I'm one of those that
Yeah,
use a home phone.
but people do, and you will have to
Yeah.
respect everything across the board, whether it be race, gender, and age.
I just go in.
Sorry, Mr. Hicks.
I agree, we should go paperless. I love having the paper where I can sit through it, go through it, you know,
Yeah.
I'm old fashioned. I haven't got access to a computer.
No idea.
And I wouldn't know how to use a computer.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's probably one of these things, as Councillor Hogg said, you know.
I'm happy to sit down and teach you.
And also,
Thank you.
also, I don't have Wi-Fi, access to Wi-Fi. Is that a problem, or is that something that the server would provide?
He's outside, it's 4G or 5G, wherever he is
So
nowadays.
it just picks up.
He just picks it up.
Okay.
But there's a bit extra.
Yeah.
There's a cost
To
to get
put
the
a SIM
4G
card
ones.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PC.
There's obviously Wi-Fi here in the building, isn't there? So
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
So basically, with the documents, what you can do is download them. So you click. I can show you how to do it. When you've got them on Dropbox, you can download them so you can read them offline. So once they go onto your Dropbox and the Wi-Fi picks them up, say I'm sat in the office and I put all the councillors' documents into the Dropbox, because it's connected up via the Wi-Fi. Once you come and take it, it will literally. It'll have it all on there, because this goes offline, but I can still access the parish council Dropbox.
And it'll be Wi-Fi up anyway here, or you just hotspot it, and so you just still get.
Plus, as Councillor Wally said, it wouldn't need to have access to any other services, you know, Google and things like that.
No.
You only need this Dropbox.
Yeah, yeah.
yes, just a quick
Sorry.
one. On that,
Have they finished?
if that did go, well, obviously if it did go over, which I think is a great idea, would it be tied into the council as KCC and Maidstone as well as the...
No, double.
Just
So
double.
the actual KCC and Mason are two separate ones as well.
So they couldn't send nothing to say like Paul the chairman on it.
But they can still send Paul emails.
Email,
Yeah,
but-
and he can still email them back.
Yeah, secure systems for a reason, so we deal with what we have to deal with, KCC will deal with what they have to deal with, and NBC deal with what they, and they are three separate
Yeah, but I didn't know
branches.
whether that one tab would come into it. No, that's okay.
Is this something that we can move forward quickly? But obviously, with Lisa's laptop as well, it's, you know.
Yeah, we are looking at that as well.
I've got a quote for that.
If you've got a quote now,
Yeah, for a while.
right, yeah,
But that was the one we looked at, and the RAM's not very good.
that's the one we looked at.
Actually, yeah, and we said no,
we
because
said
there's
no,
not
and
enough
I-
on there.
Then did I send you
Yeah.
the other one?
Basically, I'll go through the quote. Yeah, no, you didn't. AccuIT sent me a quote for tablets, as you said, but what they sent me a quote for is tablets with a detachable keyboard, which none of you need, £299 each, to which, when we were talking about this, sat there and went, nah, we can get them for a lot cheaper than that. So, bear in mind they'll charge their setup cost on top. Do you want me to get some quotes and see what's...
Sorry, Chairman, read this with Sarah's laptop, with Sarah's computer. We basically, what we're going to do, we went up to PC World, we said, look, you can get this for this. They went, yeah, okay. So we bought it from PC World and they came in and
That
set
was
up, didn't
my,
they?
that was my computer. That was my computer.
Your
I blew
one,
up the
That's,
motherboard.
that's what I actually went up to, when I saw this
But
quote,
the
I went up to PC World and I went, what can you do that for? And I went, it's got all these RAM and all that, and that is well above that.
But generally, they will then kind of match it.
Yeah, just
So that's what
especially with a
my-
bulk order from a local authority, you can get some.
Send me over the email and I'll have a word with them.
I got £200 off the TV there, and they don't give discount to anybody.
Can we go still also with what Paul can go on with getting a bulk lot?
Yeah, but yeah, inquire with, all together.